It's the second day of the Arb Show at Westonbirt, and we've made our way along to the Honey Bros tent, where I'm joined by Nick from GreenLine Arb and Danny from MediArb. Guys, how's the show been going so far?
Yeah, really good, thank you. We've sort of got stuck into it, seen so many people in the tent, and we've done a little chat openly, sort of live to the crowd as well, which has been great. So really enjoying it.
Danny, how's it been for you?
Absolute crazy. Yeah, the first day we've had such a footfall come through, and it just shows that the change of the industry's moving forward with the times. So the safety aspect of things, people are buying into a little bit more, and we can see that from just the amount of people that are coming through.
Yeah, I think we'll go into that, especially that safety aspect. But I guess for a lot of people, GreenLine Arb, it's not relatively new, but for people that maybe don't necessarily know what it is, tell me what is GreenLine Arb?
So basically, GreenLine Arb has come out of a lifetime in the tree industry. I grew up with my dad taking me to work, and then worked all around the world and ran my own business. I've seen the problems throughout. Through all kinds of different organisations, no matter what the size, these problems are reoccurring, and they are things like breakdowns, safety concerns. You've got recruitment, which is a massive one, and then sort of general job logistics. And I moved location recently, and it was really put under the microscope, all of these problems where I was sort of out of my element, out of my area, and having to scratch around and solve these issues. And driving to work one day, had the idea for the app where we could solve these things with sort of connecting people, and also basing it around a map image where people could physically see where these help points were. So I had the idea, I had the name in the locker as well, and the logo from a previous project that didn't take off, and it all kind of Tetrised into place, and bing bing bing, it was sort of created. And so yeah, from there it's just been a journey of sort of promoting it and building it, really.
And then mechanically, what does the app do then mechanically for people that haven't used it?
So yeah, I can obviously show this picture off here. We've got your main screen, which is, it's all based around a mapping system. You can filter and see all kinds of different specific industry specific points. So they're all relevant to your day at work, kind of thing. And then one of probably the most powerful points at the moment is our drop point system. We have a separate portal for the public and charities and all kinds of different organisations to sign up to receive wood and wood chip. That is really flying, and there's thousands and thousands of people that we are sort of facilitating with green products through the industry, and the response of that has just been phenomenal. So yeah, really pleased with how that's going. Yeah. And
that's something you mentioned then, Danny. This is something you've seen, a kind of trend that people are more focused on tools that can help them do the job safely.
Oh, massively. And I think what Nick and Izzy have done, they've actually come in the industry with this project at the right time, because the new generation of Arb and foresters coming in, the younger generation, and everything's done by a mobile phone. So they've actually brought this to the table and made it easy for the next generation of arborists and foresters moving into the industry. And what we've done and worked together with is producing an emergency action plan that folks can get it straight to the hands with a click of a button, so they can get their casualties, if need be, from A to B as quickly as possible, having all the information that they need to give to the emergency services, which has been working pretty well so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember we launched a year ago here at the Arb Show, and we were quite nervous, we were quite sort of apprehensive about getting around the tents and seeing people, and we walked into the Honey Brothers tent, met Danny, and showed him our original sort of emergency feature, which was quite basic, sort of based around picking up your location and a couple of sort of contact forms, and then the finding your nearest hospital. And Danny absolutely loved it. There was loads of energy coming back from that, but he said this has got loads of potential. That sort of hit off. It started the cogs turning and the wheels turning in motion. We met up and we discussed what an emergency action plan is. So we sort of went back to the engine room with that. We used Danny's sort of paper form of an emergency action plan and turned that into an electronic automated system that was kind of a powerful
it's made it into a no excuse sort of tick box, if you want to call it, because there's been so many excuses, especially in my time working in the ARB world, where people are just too busy getting ready for the job and they're like, I'll just quickly sign on to that, or I'll just tick that box, and they don't actually know what they're actually doing. And this has made it now a no excuse sort of tick box, because anyone can be involved in it. You can be a one-man band, a subcontractor on your own, or a big company. It doesn't matter. It's designed for everyone out there to have this pretty much to the hands in less than 5 minutes. And it produces an emergency action plan that will keep you just compliant. It will just keep you compliant. And if things go wrong on site, it's the one thing that you're going to want.
Yeah. And maybe not to ask too obvious a question, but why is that important? And why, especially in an industry like this, why is that important?
Well, I would say for me, I actually running teams, multiple teams. I know this is not everyone's point of view, but I'd have nightmares about my teams being safe on site for the next day, and it's my head on the chopping block if anything goes wrong. And that was such a concern, because when you can't be everywhere at all times watching people, what they're doing and taking control of the site. You can't be babysitting everyone at all times, and this kind of gives you that power to know that your teams are taking responsibility. They know where the nearest points of help are and to get help to site quickly, but it also gives everyone on site power to be in control of their safety. So we were talking about this yesterday, where it can be the team leader that is stuck or involved in an accident, and so you've got the groundsman or the apprentice that can take that control through their app and be in charge of that situation where everyone could be losing their heads and panicking, but someone's got a breakdown, they've got a briefing, they've got the answers right there and then, so it's sort of touch of a button.
You touch it there just as a company owner. Do you know what I mean? No one ever wants to come to work and have their lads be injured, but we've got to be honest with ourselves. Anyone that's working in this industry, they've got to be honest with themselves. It's not if it happens, it's when it happens. We know they happen when people get complacent and so on. So it's planning for when. And if we can just be a little bit more proactive with the planning side of it, it's going to be less reactive to deal with it if you've already planned for it. If you look at like the Health and Safety Act, in layman's terms, all it means is I want you to come and work for me, but I want you to go home in the same manner. To break it right down.
So then, in terms of, since you've been showing this app off, showing the new emergency action plan generator off at the show, what's the kind of reaction been like? How have people generally found it?
It's amazing, really, to be honest. Being up in the Honey Brothers tent this time round and interacting with people, you come and say, "How you doing? Have you heard of GreenLine?" They all get their phones out and say, "It's here, it's right here. We're using it." And obviously, there's quite a few that aren't yet, but we're spreading the word. We're here back, sharing it and getting it out in the world. But just to hear positive stories from what we're doing in the industry. I've had guys coming up to me yesterday saying they've got 2 full-time workers and an apprentice out of our recruitment system, and that just really lights me up. It's such a great response to get from something we've created and seeing it work in the world. So,
you get such a buzz from it, don't you? You can see it when you speak to Nick, or anyone speaks to Nick about it, you can see if they're giving him that feedback, he just wants to move forward with it. Then you just got that energy about yourself.
Yeah, I think
it's amazing.
From understanding it for so long, how hard it can be, not having answers, being frustrated, and you kind of put your fishing lines out hoping for a tips, like someone to help with a breakdown, someone to find you a worker through all the kind of traditional channels, and then you're sat at home fingers crossed hoping, and this kind of gives you the answers, and to see it actually coming up with those answers for people for something we've created is fantastic.
He's done really well. He's done amazing with this one.
Oh, well, listen, I think it's an amazing product. The emergency action generator especially is a great feature in keeping people safe. So thanks for talking to us, guys. Hope the rest of the show goes well, and hope you enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.